Greetings, Ben Murray here with another edition of SaaS Metrics School. Welcome. So today, addressing a student question about headcount allocations. And I've got this private Slack community for everyone who's been through my SaaS Metrics Foundation course. And one question that came up is allocating engineering expenses to COGS. And is this appropriate? How do I support this? Of course, more questions here, but often in early stage SaaS, we do see allocations. And I don't like to allocate if it's going to have an immaterial impact to the P&L. But if we don't make those allocations or those reclasses, would it change how I read our financials, how I read my P&L, how I interpret our SaaS metrics? So that's kind of that threshold I look at if we should make some allocations. But if we're looking at allocating engineering headcount to COGS, my first question is, well, are they performing a tech support function? Do you have tech support, or is engineering performing that frontline tech support? Then in that case, I think it is fair to allocate engineering resources up into the tech support area. So again, what are they doing? Or maybe they're even helping with onboarding. But again, if they're fulfilling a role within the COGS section of your P&L and performing that because you just don't have those folks hired or that department created yet, then there can be support and logic to allocate expenses up to COGS. So we have an accurate P&L, we have an accurate gross profit, we have an accurate OpEx profile. So of course, we need to understand when we're allocating, what role are they performing, where we want to allocate them to. So really important. So when we put our P&L in front of investors, potential investors, our board, our executive team, that it is solid, that everyone can rely on the expenses and COGS. They can rely on our gross profit percentage, our OpEx, and so on. So that's the big thing is we've got to get COGS versus OpEx correct on our SaaS P&L. That's step number one, always. So again, when looking at allocations, do we have reasoning? Do we have logic that can support that, that can stand that test, that it makes sense to allocate those folks? And another question that comes up is just engineering resources and COGS in general. And I've not seen that generally. All our engineering resources in our dev team, R&D team sit in OpEx below gross profit. So again, very common early stage, we're wearing multiple hats. We're going to allocate if it makes sense, if it would change how we read our P&L, if it would impact downline SaaS metrics. So we just have to be careful with how much we allocate or just the thresholds and that we don't go a little too crazy and over allocating, say, one head to 5 different departments. And then things just get a little bit messy. So a little bit about allocating engineering expenses to COGS today. Thanks.